And welcome back. It is the 18th of August. We're just going to go straight into the first question for the higher 5 a day. And I've got expanding what's called triple brackets. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to expand 2x minus 1 squared first and then multiply that by 2x minus 1, which is going to be 4x squared minus 2x doubled is 4x plus 1. And multiplying that by 2x minus 1. Now, if this is one of the first videos you've seen of mine, the way I do this is I do this, well, I'll show you. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2x first, which is going to give me 8x cubed minus 8x minus 2x. Then I'm going to multiply everything by minus 1. So that's going to give me, so that should be squared. So that's going to give me minus 4x squared. Minus minus is a plus, so plus 4x. And then minus 1 at the end. The reason I did that is then I've got things in columns, which makes it very easy to add up. So it's going to be 8x cubed, add my x squareds together, which is minus 12x squared, add my x's together, which are going to give me plus 6x, and then a minus 1 at the end. And that's my final answer. Happy with that one? Not too bad. Next question. There's a long way of doing this and there's a short way of doing this, and I'm going to insist that you work out how to do the short way so that you save time in exams. So first of all, the word is draw, not sketch. So I need to draw minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. On your calculator, there's something called the table function. Make sure you can find it and make sure you can use it. You're going to put in table function, you're going to type in the function using the X somewhere on your calculator. You're going to put the range between minus 2 and 3. Let's put 3 at the end as well because I've got 3 over here. And then you're going to do step of 1, in other words, going up by ones. And that should give you the answer without having to do lots of working out. And that's because that's going to save you a lot of time in the exam. So I've already pre-done that, so I've therefore got my answers. Now, because I know it's a quadratic, x squared, I'm also looking for some symmetry, and I can see that symmetry is here, which makes me feel better. So I can see that my turning point is at a half. So let's plot these. So minus 2 goes against 11, bit annoying if my scale's not exactly right. Minus 1 goes against 3, which is here. 0 goes against minus 1, 1 goes against minus 1, 2 against 3, and 3 go against the 11, which is up here. Now you have to draw. As I very often say, on an iPad, I won't be brilliant. You need to be better than I am. But I then draw a nice little quadratic with a curve that looks like this going through the points. This is marked effectively using tracing paper. So you need to make sure that it's okay. Right, next one. Use your graph to find an estimate of the coordinates of the minimum points. Oh, there we go. So I already know the minimum point here is halfway between there and there. So I already know that's a half. So I don't need to estimate that. So what I'm now going to do is look at where a half is. Now, because the way I've drawn it is not super accurate, and obviously you need to draw it slightly better in an exam with a bigger piece of paper, but I'm going to say that's about minus 1.6, 1.7 or something, isn't it? So let's say that one there is minus 1.7. Might be slightly less, but that will do. Again, what you'll really do is work out the answer and make sure your graph looks about right. Next question. Given is a triangle with the measurements given to 1 sig fig. Yay. Calculate the upper bound for the area. Well, the upper bound for the area is going to be the half times the height upper bound times the base upper bound. So actually that's all I need. So if I think about this number here, that's 9 to 1 sig fig. So the 1 sig fig above is 10. So therefore halfway in between is 9.5. So that's going to be a half times 9.5. This one here, 20. So the 1 sig fig above is not 21, it's 30. So therefore halfway here is 25. So I'm multiplying this by 25, calculator out, and that gives me 118.75 centimeters squared. Good question. Very easy to get this bit wrong here with the tens. Next and final question. Shown is a triangular prism. ABC is a right angle triangle. Find the length of BF. Okay. Now what's interesting here is actually you can just consider this to be a cuboid and just add 5 squared, 12 squared and 20 squared. But I'll do the step in between just to show you what I'm doing. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to consider the triangle that goes from F to D to B. So there's F, there's D. I know that's 5 because I see it in the diagram. And D to B, which I don't know, but I know I'm going to use different colour. I'm going to use the base triangle on the floor to work out that length there. So this length here is going to be 12 squared plus 20 squared square rooted. So in other words, in order to work out F to B, let's do it all in one. It's going to be 5 squared plus the bottom d to b, which is 12 squared plus 20 squared, square rooted, squared. So in other words, that's going to go away, which is why 3D Pythagoras works. And that's just going to leave with 5 squared plus 12 squared plus 20 squared, all square rooted, which is, calculator out, root 569 or 23.853720888 or 23.9. So 23.9 to 1 decimal place. Notice I always show my accuracy, and actually I'm going to put centimeters in there as well. And that is it, question done. Again, nice mix of questions compared to what we've seen recently. Let me know how they went for you. Do like, subscribe, make sure you get tomorrow's popping up, because these questions will help you just go into that exam fully prepared. Thanks all, bye.